Samantha. Hey, thank you for speaking to us. Christmas is just right around the corner.
Yes, thank you for having me. Tis the season.
I know. I saw your gosh, your biography is just full of Christmas romance films. I mean, is that your specialty?
It's somehow become my specialty. Yes, I love those movies. I've been watching them forever. And so it wasn't an accident that I tried my hand at it. And then I guess I got good at it. And it's become kind of my specialty, as it were.
So how did you get into that particular industry in the first place? I mean, it's a very specialized industry.
Yeah, it was kind of randomly circuitous. So I wrote, like I said, I was watching them forever. I'm Jewish. I don't celebrate Christmas. That was the way I celebrated Christmas, was by watching all these Christmas and holiday films and TV specials. And so when I wanted to try my hand at writing, one of the first things I did was write on spec a version of something that I thought was in the Hallmark holiday model. And so I just wrote it on my own time. I didn't really know what to do with it. I had no representation at the time. I had done like a few DIY projects, but really didn't have the contacts necessary to really get some traction with it. So I was flailing around trying to figure out what to do with it. And then by very random happenstance, I met my future leading lady at a party at Sundance, and she had just done her first Hallmark movie. It hadn't yet aired. I'd seen the ad for it. So I just approached her just as a fan, because she came from the daytime world. Her name is Jen Lilly. And I just wanted to like chat with her for fun, not thinking that that was going to go anywhere. But luckily for me, she was keen to read it. And long story short, that's what got me in. So she took it to the producer with whom she had done her first movie. The producer sent it into the network. And, this took time. There were gaps in between, all these milestones, but they took a shine to it and acquired the movie. And then we kind of redid it, revamped it under their purview. And that was the first one.
I'm going to back up the truck a little bit because you mentioned that you were Jewish,
Yeah.
and this is obviously a different holiday. So how does this even work with you?
Like, well, how do I even know anything about Christmas? From watching all these movies. That's where I do my learning. I mean, I've celebrated a Christmas here and there as a guest of, family friends when I was growing up, and now as an adult. But as, a household growing up, we did not do a typical Christmas. We did Hanukkah.
So when after you got your first film with Hallmark, is it usual that they would actually have you keep on coming back? Because I'm not sure how Hallmark actually works with these movies. Do they just hire like one writer and then does it come up with 10 movies? It almost seems like you're like a showrunner for 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 a series or something.
None of us are employees, and so we're not, under their umbrella in a permanent way. But I think they take a liking to, a certain amount of people, and if you prove yourself to, understand the brand and work fast enough and do it right, then basically you can be asked back either to pitch on ideas that are already greenlit or have an open door to pitch your own original ideas. And lots don't go, and you just got to throw a lot of darts. But yeah, once you're kind of in and do a good job, fortunately they come back to the same kind of pool.
So tell me how many films under your belt that are actually Christmas romance movies.
Let's see. So Christmas Island, which premieres on Saturday, November 11th, that's my 11th Hallmark. And I think it's let me deduct, I think it's the 8th Christmas.
Wow. So when you come up with these stories, is it just like on I want to say like on cruise control at this point, or you just really have all these stories in your head? Because it's one thing to come up with one story, but then, or two or three, but 11, that's quite an achievement.
Thank you. I mean, I guess I believe in love. So I always am idealizing what that looks like. I'm unlucky in love in real life, so I put all of my attention onto the page for these couples. And not every movie in the Hallmark space is romantic. Mine have been, and they've been kind of pushing us to try new things, try different dynamics, new unique storylines. So it's not always just the girl goes to her hometown and sees her old boyfriend. So I know that might be like the parody version, but there really are like a lot of different avenues, and especially in the last couple of years they're really encouraging more comedy, so there's more fun to be had.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the romantic trope of going somewhere and meeting a guy or something like that is is your approach. How do you approach to craft that perfect romance and trying to keep it fresh every single time?
uh, I don't think there's a science behind it. I don't know if I could articulate it, but it's really just to like craft each character independently. And they really like that. And I really like doing that, having like a backstory and really a fulsome character with quirks and flaws and really specific traits. And then seeing how they complement each other and help each other in their journeys, not just in the romantic aspect of their lives, but in whatever challenges they're facing independently of the holiday and the romance. So to achieve that, I feel like my biggest strength and what I enjoy doing is just the banter. And if the chemistry is crackling on the page, hopefully it crackles on screen, and they have great actors to choose from. So that's where I focus most of my attention.
Now, of course, most of your writing focuses on Christmas. What's so special about Christmas that makes it such a an easy romantic story to tell?
There's a magic about the season. And I think that just lends itself to the idea of something special happening. If that's love, if that's family, if that's friendship, I think just that environment and just the physicality of it. It just looks pretty. It's sparkly, it's glittery, there's decor everywhere. So I think it just like sets the stage for these people to come together in whatever version they need to. And also just there's a lot of activities. And so you can just get them together doing fun things. And they're not at work necessarily during the break.
I'm curious, what fun things do you enjoy about the Christmas that you look forward to a Christmas holiday season that you love to do?
Personally, I mean, I live in LA, so I can't do any of the winter activities, but I would, and I'm from Canada, so you'd think I'd be good at ice skating. I wish I had kept up my skills, but in theory, would love to do that more often. I need to crash into the wall. I could never stop properly. Just had to hit the backboard of the rink. And gingerbread houses, classic.
Well, much better than me. I mean, I when I do like ice skating, I'm still on those what was it, those walkers that you take along with you on the ice skating rinks. So
It's been a long time. I'm not so confident I could even stand upright, but in my head, I look great out on the ice.
most excellent. Well, let's talk about this upcoming movie that you actually have with Christmas Island. I think Hallmark just sent me like 6 or 7 Hallmark films themselves to me to watch. But so tell us about what Christmas Island is about. I've seen this a little bit of the synopsis.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. So, first of all, it's the first time I've had a movie take place in Canada, which is my home country. A lot of them have filmed there, but this actually takes place there on the east coast of Canada. Basically, it's about Kate, played by Rachel Skarsten, who is essentially auditioning to become the private pilot of this wealthy family. And her first gig with them is to take them from the States over to Switzerland, where they're planning a big, glitzy holiday vacation, their annual, splashy trip. But a storm befalls the flight en route, and there's an overeager air traffic controller who insists that they ground the plane, and they end up stranded in the small East Coast Canadian town of Christmas Island, which, unsurprisingly from its name, is a very celebratory and festive place. And so, despite things not going exactly as planned, Kate vows to give the family a really special Christmas vacation in the island, and has to pair up with the air traffic controller, Oliver, played by Andrew Walker, who is a resident and Christmas expert.
So it's when you write a story like Christmas Island here, is it based on like real places?
Not always. This time it is. And so there's a lot to draw on with some of the customs that I researched and just some fun like regional dialectical things that I looked into. So in this case, there was some kind of real life stuff to source. And so that was an extra bit of fun. And actually, when I was in flight during the year last year, just on vacation, the flight attendant saw me working on my laptop and we got to talking. And I said it was a flight based project. And so she took me up to the cockpit and I got a little tour with the pilots and they gave me some lingo to use. And so that was just an impromptu bit of field research.
Wow. So, but that's not just the only real life aspects of for Christmas Island, right?
The
You,
characters are all fiction.
yeah. I'm talking about like the cultural stuff that you actually inputted into that you researched in there.
Yeah, that I tried to do the best I could with finding out, all the customs. And there are some things that that you'll see in the movie that are drawn from the things that they do, and they have a special postage stamp, and that's all real.
Now, is Christmas a little bit different in Canada than here in the States?
I would say it's pretty much the same. So put out the cookies for Santa and get school off. It's different in California because it's so warm, so it doesn't appear as scenic. It's not as snowy.
Now, how different is a Christmas Island from the previous projects that you have besides the location being in Canada?
Like I said, this time they really were encouraging a bit more comedy and levity, and so hopefully that will come alive. And I hope to do that more in the future as well.
So does comedy come natural for you, or is it this is a difficult subject to tackle?
I hope it comes naturally. I feel like it comes naturally, and I can only hope that the audience feels the same way.
So in the case for like a Hallmark movies, when you work on something like Christmas Island, how involved are you on the set and production at that point after the script is done?
Not very. And in particular, this year it was filmed during the strike, so there was just no possibility of interacting with the team because we were closed off. And typically there have been times where I've been able to visit the set, but then in COVID, I couldn't because it wasn't necessary. So it just really depends. Like there's been some like world and industry events that have made it impossible to go visit, but hopefully going forward, I can be more present.
Yeah, sorry about the pandemic and the strike. I mean that past 3 years surely diminished your experience with these productions.
Yes. So hopefully that is all behind us and go join the party again.
So how do you adjust moving forward? I mean, how is it going to be a life as a writer for yourself down the road?
I hope it's, other than being able to go to the set more often, I hope it's the same. I will work for Hallmark as long as they'll have me. I've started pitching for next year. I have a couple of things in development. So I hope it's just going to be business as usual with some added bonus of being able to go and participate more fulsomely on set.
So Samantha, why do you enjoy this job so much of writing stories for in the industry for films?
I have loved TV and film my whole life. As soon as I learned that human beings made them and it wasn't like made by magic, that's all I ever wanted to do. And as far as like tapping into the niche of holiday and romance, it can be a dark place in this world, especially in recent times. And so if I can give someone a break from that for a couple hours, put a smile on their face, maybe a joyful tear in their eye, that is the biggest reward.
So essentially, you love providing escapism to the audiences because because it's also escapism for you too.
Totally. Yeah. It's going to like a dream version of the world I want it to be. And to, just bring joy. That's all I want to do.
Do you get tired of this specific genre and ever wanted to like go somewhere else, to do, I don't know, like crime stories or dramas or horror, or
No,
you
I
just
joke about that. I've done I've done some things outside the space. I have a YA movie that's percolating, and I did a thriller at one point. It hasn't come out, it hasn't filmed yet. But I joke that if I'm ever gonna, succeed in love in real life, I have to start doing horror in my professional life. Can't do both at the same time. But the heart wants what the heart wants, and I love love. So staying in this rom-com, I love the comedy part of it. So if I can beef that up, which like I said, the network is encouraging and I really enjoy, this is where I feel most at home.
and have you ever considered, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Have you considered about being behind the camera and directing, these stories?
I think if there was an emergency and they're like, someone has to do it, I could step forward, but no, it's not something that I've been pursuing. I like to just sit back, describe it, and like let the team, that is really trained and more expert in those departments do their thing.
Most excellent. Samantha, it sounds like you still have more fuel in the tank for more romantic stories. Can you kind of hint about some of the stuff? Is it obviously we can't say it's more of the same.
Honestly, I'm just waiting to find out which thing of mine is gonna, hit the queue first. So it'll be love and funny, and that's all I know. So I'm staying tuned for myself.
Most excellent. And before I let you go, I know I've taken a lot of your time. Tell us why you love these Hallmark movies so much yourself, because I could tell not only you work for them, you're a fan of them too.
I'm a fan. Yeah, it's like not just the president, I'm a member. I just watched one from the weekend just now before we got on. I think I've watched them all. There's 40 this season. I've been DVRing them. I think I'm up to date with everything. They just make me happy. They put a smile on my face.
That is quite a bit. I don't even know how I'm gonna find the time just to watch the six they sent over to me.
Yeah, it's high volume. I don't know how they do it. It's impressive every year.
Most excellent. Well, Samantha, hey, thank you very much for carrying this conversation with us about Hallmark movies, and particularly your upcoming film, Christmas Island. Everyone should definitely check out, because, like you said, it's going to be what, romantic and funny.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we get to do this again.
That'd be great. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye now.